Good morning. Can you hear me? Good morning, afternoon, evening, depending on where you're connected from. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, please drop a comment. If you can hear me loud and clear, drop a comment. Drop a comment if you can hear me. Today is Wednesday, the 9th of July. How's been trading this week? How's it been this week? I hope you're making profit. How's been trading this week? Please confirm you can hear me loud and clear. Also confirm you can see my screen. For your response, I want to be sure you can hear me loud and clear before I start the class. If you have any question, please drop it in the comment section. If there's anything you want me to analyze, let me know in the comment section. Good morning, Mr. Thunder. Good morning. Good morning. What pair are you looking at today? I would like to know in the comment section. I'd like to know in the comment section what pair are you considering trading today? All right. So let's get started. Today is Wednesday, the 9th of July, and the major news will be released today from the United States at 7 p.m. FOMC meeting holds today, and it's a high impact news. So it's one news you need to look out for. Okay, it's a news you need to look out for. Most times when FOMC meeting, the days we have our FOMC meeting, most times price will just go into a range. Okay, most times. So if you're trading dollar pairs before FOMC, please be conservative. Okay, be conservative. New Zealand released its official cash rates 3 a.m. Nigerian time, and you can see the forecast equals the actual. Okay, the previous and the actual and the forecast is the same. Okay, so let's go to the chart. If you want me to analyze, let me know in the comment section. Mr. Wisdom, it's been a while. How are you doing? Good morning, Wisdom. It's been a while. How are you doing? Okay, so let's go to the charts. Please, any pair you want me to analyze, let me know in the comment section. So by looking at the dollar index. Okay, so let me analyze on yen before we look at dollar index. So yen, some weeks now, for some weeks, the yen has been bearish. Yen has been weak for some weeks. It's been selling massively. You can see massive drop on yen basket for the past few weeks. Okay, so you can see today's candle. This is what we have. We have to wait for the daily candle to close to decide on which direction to follow. Okay, but as a day trader, we need to switch down to lower time frame. Okay, to see if we can find opportunity, if we can find a good setup on lower time frame. So you can see what we have here on 4-hour time frame. The fact that the previous 4-hour candle closed above the high of this bearish candle tells me that there are more demand than supply. Okay, the fact that this candlestick, this bullish candle closed above the high of the previous bearish candle communicates to me that there is more demand than supply. And when there is more demand than supply, you should expect price to go up. Okay, so this is what we have on 4-hour. And I believe if you go down to lower time from like 1 hour, 15 minutes, you'll be able to identify a bullish reversal pattern. So you can see on 1 hour, we had a spinning bottom here. It's a bullish spinning bottom. So this would have been a good entry for yen basket. This would have been a good entry after the close of this spinning top. This would have been a good entry. Okay, so if you didn't buy from this point, if you didn't buy yen from this point, the market is currently trading at this point. You don't want to buy from this point. Okay, so for today's market, if you are considering trading JPY pairs, you should buy the yen. Okay, you should buy the yen. Okay, so if you have missed the opportunity to buy from this point, I would suggest you patiently wait for price to pull back to a discount area. Okay, I would advise you wait for price to pull back to a discount area. Where do we have the value gap at a discount? So this would be a good area, a good zone to consider buying or joining the trend, the bullish trend. So on 15 minutes, you can see shifting market structure. Shifting market structure has occurred at this point. You can see candle closed above this previous highs. You can see the market closed above this previous high. So shifting market structure has occurred, and after shifting market structure, price is expected to pull back to fill the imbalances, this fair value gap. Okay, so if you want to buy yen, wait for price to pull back. It means you would be looking for sales on JPY pairs. Okay, you look for sales on JPY pairs because JPY is the counter or quote currency on most of the yen pairs, right? Yes, all the yen pairs, I think yen is the counter or quote, so you should be looking for sales on those pairs. If you look at those pairs now, you will see that they're already selling. Most of them are already selling because yen is bullish. CAD JPY, GBP JPY, you would see that they're already selling. Okay, so that's my take on yen. I am bullish the yen today, and if today's candle closes bullish, if it closes as a bullish pattern, then we should expect more buys. Okay, and I would expect it to come fill this fair value gap. Okay, so this is where I would consider selling the yen if today's candle closes as a bullish reversal pattern. Okay, I would expect price to pull back to come fill this fair value gap or retest this broken support zone resistance. Okay, so let's look at dollar index. So dollar index, this was yesterday. Okay, so you can see how yesterday candle closed. It looks like a shooting star. Okay, it looks like a shooting star. Okay, so what played out yesterday, I think we had a fair value gap here. You can see on the daily time frame, we had this fair value gap, and there was a pullback yesterday to fill that fair value gap. Also, the move yesterday was to clear the liquidity residing at the previous high, which was Monday candle, and also to fill this fair value gap. That has been achieved. Okay, that has been achieved, and you can see the pattern that formed after price that fair value gap. Let's go down to 4 hour. So you can see what we had on 4 hour. Okay, looks like a bearish reversal pattern. This looks like a bearish Marubozu. Looks like a bearish Marubozu, but let's ignore this. Let's go down to lower time frame to be sure a bearish reversal pattern form. I'm sure if you go to 1 hour, 15 minutes, you'll be able to identify a bearish reversal pattern on those time frames. So let's see. So you can see what we had on 1 hour time frame. We had a bullish candle. The next candle closed below the low of that bullish candle. This looks like an engulfing, though not a valid one. Okay, so reversal pattern, and what happened? Price went down, and there's a retracement. Most likely, there is a fair value gap. A fair value gap was created at this point that price needed to fill. Let's just see 15 minutes. So you can see on 15 minutes, we had a fair value gap here on 15 minutes at this point. Let's go down to 5 minutes. I'm sure there's a fair value gap price went to, you can see. So we had this fair value gap here, which could be the reason for the retracement. This fair value gap could be the reason for the retracement. Okay, we had a tiny fair value gap here, so that could be the reason for the retracement. That could be the reason for the retracement. Okay, so that could be the reason for the retracement. Okay. So the price pull, you can see that could be just for the retracement. Okay, so we can say dollar index has been in a range since yesterday, you can see. But going by the pattern on the daily 4 hour and 1 hour time frame, I expect dollar index to sell. Okay, I expect dollar to be bearish today. Okay, though long term the dollar is bullish, but I'd like to see the dollar retrace. It should come fill this fair value gap. That is my expectation. At least it should retrace back to fill this fair value gap. Okay, it should retrace back to fill that fair value gap. Let's see for our okay. So that's my expectation. This fair value gap or this gap. This is where I'll be considering buying the dollar. Okay, you can see this low is an area of liquidity which I believe they are most likely going to come and sweep these lows here. Okay, because we have a fair value gap here. See, so that's my expectation on the dollar for today's market. It should at least retrace to this zone, this level. So that's my tip for the dollar today. Okay, technically, okay. FOMC meeting holds today by 7 p.m. Don't forget that. Okay, but technically, I expect dollar to retrace to this zone. You all are welcome. If you have any question, you have any pair you want me to analyze, please let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the comment section. Good morning, Mr. Raphael. Let me know if you have any pair you want me to analyze. Let me know in the comment section. Let's move on. So let's look at currency pairs. Let's start with GBP USD. So if my bias is bearish for the dollar today, I should look for buys on GBP USD, Euro USD, NZD USD. Okay, so see what we have here. I think this was the last candle for yesterday market. Okay. This was the last candle for yesterday market. So we had a doji, and a doji indicates change in trend from bearish to okay. Let's see the daily time frame. Okay, so you can see what we had on a daily time frame. Looks like a spine top, and also you can see here we had a fair value gap. Price pulled back to fill the fair value gap. Okay, pulled back to fill the fair value gap. Gave us a pattern, and after the close of yesterday candle, what do we have on 4 hour time frame? So on 4 hour time frame, we had, let's see what we had here. See what we had here yesterday. This is a doji, which is a bullish reversal pattern, a doji, and the next candle closed also bullish. The one that followed also closed bullish reversal pattern. And you can see GU has been bullish since the market opened. Let's see 1 hour. Okay, cool, nice. So this was what we had on 1 hour time frame yesterday. So we had a fair value gap here. Let's get a fair value gap here. You can see, and I think this morning price has pulled back. Okay, though it did fill the fair value gap, it tested that area, and there's a strong rejection from that level. You can see, gave us an engulfing pattern here. So what I see here is a buy setup on GU. This is a buy opportunity on GU. So let me go back to 4 hour. So I'd love to see GU sweep all the liquidity residing at these highs, all these highs it has created this week. All these highs it has created. I would like to see these highs, this liquidity. So this would be my target for GBP USD. Okay, that's my target for GBP USD. I hope that is clear. USJPY, USCHF. Okay. I'll analyze all those pairs few minutes. So that's my take on GBP USD. I am bullish on GBP USD today. Bullish on GBP USD today. Okay, so let's look at Euro USD then with USD and UJ. Euro USD. So nice pattern on Euro USD. So let's start with the daily time frame. So you can see what we had yesterday. Looks like this is a spinning bottom or an inverted hammer. Spinning bottom or inverted hammer. Both candle indicates change in trend from bullish to bearish. Some will call this inverted hammer. Some will call it spinning top. Both pattern communicates to us that the trend is likely going to change. So here we had a fair value gap. Price came, tested that fair value gap, strong rejection from that fair value gap. Okay, and let's go down to 4 hour. Let's see the pattern we had on 4 hour after the close of yesterday. So on 4 hour, we had an hammer. We had an hammer, and the next candlestick close bullish. This is a bullish reversal pattern. This is a bullish reversal pattern. Okay, so let's go down to 1 hour. Let's see what we had on 1 hour. So on 1 hour, we had this on 1 hour. Can you see this? We had this. The market closed above the high of this last bearish candlestick. Okay. Okay. So I think let's go down to lower time frame. Slightly, there's a fair value gap below. Let's see. Okay. There is no fair value gap here on 15 minutes time frame. I think we had one here. We had a tiny fair value gap here. Price pulled back to test that fair value gap. Okay. So what I see here is a buy setup. Okay. What I see is buy. Let's just see 15 minutes. Let's see if there's a fair value gap. Okay. So we have this fair value gap here. We have this fair value gap here. There's a tiny one here. Okay, we can also work with this. Okay, though we had a tiny one here. Price came, tested that fair value gap of pattern, which is a buy setup. Okay, which is a buy setup. Okay, so that's my take on Euro USD buy. I'm looking for buys on Euro USD. Okay, I'm looking for buys. Most likely, price might come to retest this zone. Okay, price might come to retest this zone before bullish. So my bias for Euro USD today is buy. It is buy. I told you guys, days when FOMC meeting holds, most times price go into a range. It goes into a range, and as you can see, since the market with the buyers or sellers are in control, you can see what the price has been in a range. It's neither bullish nor bearish. But looking at the 4 hour daily candlestick pattern, we can tell that the buyers are showing up strong. Momentum, the bullish momentum is increasing. Looking at the daily and the 4 hour time frame. So that's my take on Euro USD. So let's look at USD. USD JPY. JPY is bullish. Look for sales. I actually took a trade on GJ this morning, and it's a massive profit right now. I took a trade on GJ, so UJ is bearish, but this won't be the right time to sell UJ. Okay, this won't be the right time to sell UJ. This won't be the right time to sell UJ. Okay. So yesterday candle, let's start with yesterday. It closed. So let's start from this point. After the formation of this shooting star, let's go down to lower time frame, and I think this shooting star was used to fill. Yeah, you can see this fair value gap. Okay, it was used to fill this fair value gap in the daily time frame. So after the gap got filled, there was a strong rejection. This would have been a good sell on UJ. If you miss this move, I think this is another opportunity. Price has pulled back, most likely. Maybe a fair value gap was created after the formation of this. Let's just confirm lower time frame. Let's see for hour. So you can see after the formation of that pattern, a fair value gap was created. You get back to test that fair value gap. You can see price has pulled back into that fair value gap, and the previous 4-hour candle closed below the low of that fair value gap. You can see. So that tells me that UJ is set for sell. So if you want to take the trade on UJ, you ensure that your stop loss, if you are selling from the current market price, which is 146.55, your stop loss should be above 147.34. That's about 80 pip. No, that's about that's about 80 pip risk. Or wait, you wait for price to pull back. This is 1 hour time frame. You could wait for price to pull back to this fair value gap. Here we have a fair value gap here. So you can join this after price retraces to this fair value gap. This would be a good area to consider selling. Okay, this is where you should consider selling UJ. Go down to 15 minutes. There should be a shift in market structure on 15 minutes time frame. You can see at this low here. Yeah, this is the recent higher low. Price has closed below it. So we need to see price pull back to fair value gap. So this would be the fair value gap. No, sorry, 15 minutes. So wait for price to fill this fair value gap. Okay, before you take a sell on USDJPY. The bias for USDJPY is sell. That is clear, Mr. Wisdom. Okay, that's my take on USDJPY. So let's see gold before we look at gold. Before we look at USDCHF. For those of you who are interested in learning my strategy, in a few weeks from now, I'll be releasing a course. Okay, I'll be releasing a course in a few weeks from now. So if you have a challenge, defining the buyers, the market buyers, this is one course you should get. This is one course you should get. In the course, I'll be covering Forex trading basics to advanced. I'll also be sharing my unique trading strategy with you all. Okay. Now, it's not a must that you get it. If you've been participating in the classes, you should have learned my strategy. If you've been participating on the live stream, it's not a must that you get it. So I'll be giving the first 10 persons the privilege to access the course at a very cheap rate. At a very cheap rate. The first, so if you like to be among the 10 persons, the first 10 persons to have access to the course, you have my WhatsApp number, send me a message on WhatsApp. Now, for those of you in the fraternity group, you don't need to pay for the course. You don't need to pay for the course. For those of you in the fraternity group, you don't need to pay for the course. Okay, you would have access to the course for free. Okay, if you are not in the fraternity community group, you would have to pay to have access to the course. Okay, now, like I said, it's not mandatory that you get the course. If you are doing well, if you are profitable, you don't need to get the course. If you are doing well, you need to get the course. Okay, so the first 10 persons, I'm planning to sell the course for, it's a secret. You can't find the what I'll be showing in the course, my strategy. You can't find it anywhere on the internet. It's a secret, and I'm not gonna the course won't be available for too long. It won't be available for forever. Just maybe 100 persons. I'm just gonna give 100 persons access to the course. I'm gonna give 100 persons access to the course. Okay, so let's look at gold. If you're interested, just send me a message on WhatsApp. Send me a message on WhatsApp. I'm still contemplating on how much I will sell the course. You can see I've started creating it. You can see introduction to Forex trading, then the max ATR trading concept. Also in the course, you will learn candlestick pattern strategy. You can see I've created a video on risk and money management. I'm still going to create videos on ICT concepts, the different ICT models, how you can use fair value gaps, how you can use breaker blocks, mitigation blocks, liquidity. I'm still going to create a video on that. I'm also going to create a video on how to download your platform, how to use the trading platform to trade for those who are new to trading. So I'm going to cover a lot of things. So I've created 4 videos now, and I think the list here is almost done. This is 1 hour. This is 16 minutes. This is how many minutes is this? 1 hour. And this is about also 1 hour. Okay, 1 hour. So there are still lots of content I'm going to create. I want to ensure that anybody that accesses this course will succeed in trading. I want it to be the last course you would ever purchase. The last Forex course you would ever purchase. I want it to be a course that will teach you everything you need to know to start trading Forex profitably. So USDC gold. Okay, I said we should look at gold. Let's look at gold. Ebuka, good morning. Okay, so let's look at gold. So the first 10 persons, I might give them access to the course for just 10,000 naira. The first 10 persons will get access to it. After that, the price will go up to 50,000 naira. 50,000 naira. It also comes with mentorship. I'm not just selling a course. You have access to mentorship. At least we'll meet 3 times in a week. We'll be having Zoom session at least 3 times in a week. And also, the first 30 days, you would have access to free signals. You would have access to free signals for 30 days, free signals for 30 days. I believe after 30 days, you should be able to trade or analyze the market by yourself. You need my instructions. Okay, that's the reason for the mentorship. I'll mentor you to ensure that you're seeing the same thing I'm seeing on the chart and you're able to execute without my instructions. So gold. My bias for gold is buy. If my bias for the dollar is bearish, then I should be looking for buys on gold. So let's start with the daily time frame. Daily. Okay, so let's start with the daily time frame. So we had this here time frame. I think there's a fair gap. Gap was created here on 4-hour time frame. Let's confirm that, which would be the reason for the pull on 4-hour time frame. Okay, so you can see on 4-hour this fair value gap. I think that gap has been filled now. So if the current 4-hour candle closes bullish, I think it would be wise to buy gold. If the current 4-hour closes bullish, you should consider buying gold. It's either the 4-hour closes bullish or 1-hour candle closes above the high of this fair value gap. Okay, so that's my take on gold. I am bullish on gold. I am bullish on you take the trade. Okay, so we have on 1 hour. So wait for 1 hour candle to close above. You can see we had the resistance here. We had the resistance here. So if 1 hour candle closes above, you should start buying. Okay, so I feel gold is likely going to come fill this fair value gap. That's my expectation on gold for today's market. Okay, this fair value gap, that's my target on gold. If 1 hour closes above this level, this first target on gold. That will be my first target on gold. So let's see what's happening on 15 minutes time frame. Okay, so this is 15 minutes time frame. I love what I'm seeing there on time frame. You can see we had an hammer. The next candlestick closed bearish, but it respected this previous low. That tells me that the buyers are gaining momentum. The bullish momentum is increasing. You can see. So it sold. Okay, it dropped, respected this low, created the resistance at this point, and the next candle closed above that resistance level. That tells me that the bullish momentum is increasing. Okay, so let's go down to 5 minutes. Let's see if it created a fair value gap that needs to come and fill. So I think it created a fair value gap here. So yeah, we have this tiny fair value gap here that it might come to fill before going bullish. Okay, so this is buy. Okay, so price might pull back to this zone before going bullish. So that's take on. So if we go down to, I think, no shift in market structure on 15 minutes time frame, but let's see 1 minute. Let's see if there's a shift in market structure on 1 minute time frame. So what do we have here on 1 minute? You can see. Can you see what we have here on 1 minute time frame? Shift in market structure occurred at this point. There was a shift in market structure at this point. You can see shift in market structure, price pulled back. After a shift in market structure, we want to see price pull back to a discount area, and at the discount area, we want to trade from a fair value. You can see this fair value gap here. So price pulled back to that fair value gap. You can see, and you can see the pattern that it formed after gave us an engulfing pattern. So this would have been a good entry. After this engulfing pattern here, this would have been a good entry on gold. Okay, so gold is bullish. Gold is bullish. Okay, but you might wait for a little retracement before you buy gold. Could wait for a little retracement before you buy gold. Significant level on which pair, on which instrument, Mr. Raphael? Significant level at which of the instruments? Let me know which of the instruments. On gold, like I said, on gold, you can wait for price to pull back to this fair value gap. Okay, on gold, this would be a good area to consider buying gold. A pullback to this level would be a good area to consider buying gold. I hope you've seen that. Let me delete all these other lines. Okay, so wait for retracement to this zone if you want to buy gold. Okay, you could actually take a buy trade on gold. Set your stop loss, let's say 20 pips below this level. That is if you are comfortable with the risk. Okay, if you are comfortable with the risk, you could buy gold now, because price retracing back to this zone is a probability. There are no guarantees. So what I will advise in this case is to go in with small size, let's say 50% of your daily maximum drawdown, or you can go in with 20% or 30% of your daily drawdown. Okay, then if price pulls back to this zone, you see a very good bullish pattern. After price fills this zone, you can go in with, the remaining 50% of your maximum daily drawdown. What do I mean? If it is $40 or $50, if $50 is your maximum drawdown for the day, you can risk maybe $20 on this first trade, $20 or $10, risk whatever you are comfortable with. And when price pulls back into this zone, you go in with the remaining balance. Why is it that some fair value gap isn't important? In all fair value gaps are important, okay? All fair value gaps are important, but the ones that will play out most times are the ones on the higher time frame, the ones identified on a higher time frame from 4-hour, daily, and on the weekly time frame. Those ones, the probability of those fair value gap holding or playing out is very high. Okay, so all fair value gaps are valid. Okay, so but the ones that are stronger that plays out most of the times is the ones identified on the higher time frame. Okay, is the ones that you identify on a higher time frame. Is that clear? Also, you should also trade fair value gaps at discount or premium. Discount or premium area. If the fair value gap is not at a premium or discount, the probability of it playing out is very slim, very low. And when you identify these fair value gaps at discount and premium, the probability of it playing out is very high. Please give the video a thumbs up if you haven't done that. Give it a thumbs up. Give the video a thumbs up if you haven't done that. And if it's your first time joining the live stream, you're welcome. We're so excited to have you in today's live stream. Please do subscribe to the channel so that anytime I drop a video or I come on live, you get notified by YouTube. Ensure you are a part of this community. Okay. Is there any other pair you want me to analyze? Okay, USD USD dollar is bearish. If dollar will be weak, we should be looking for sells on USD If we expect dollar to be weak, we should expect bearish move on USD So as you can see on USF yesterday, okay, strongly bearish. Yesterday candle was strongly bearish. Okay, so we should expect sells on USD CHF. So after the close of yesterday candle, let's see the pattern we had on 4-hour time frame. 4-hour time frame. Okay. So this is what we had on 4-hour time frame. Liquidity residing at this previous high was cleared. Okay, liquidity was cleared, and after that, we'll see what we have here. Looks like a shooting star, but let's see 1 hour to confirm. There should be a shooting star on 1 hour. So you can see the pattern we had on 1 hour time frame. Two shooting stars, bullish shooting star, bearish shooting star. So the setup, and what happened? There was a fair value gap that was created here. A fair value gap was created here. Can you see that gap? This morning price pulled back to fill the fair value gap, and 1 hour candle closed below that fair value gap. That's a sell setup. That's a sell setup. That's a sell setup. So technically, USD is bearish. Technically, it is bearish. So if you are selling, this could be the first target on USD this fair value gap. This could be the next. This could be the next target for. Okay, so we also have this fair value gap here. So though it has been filled at this point, this fair value gap. So they might also want to come and retest because this low is an area of liquidity. Okay, there are a lot of stop losses sitting at this low. They might want to come and sweep. So that's my take on USD CHF. CHF is sell. It's a sell. Is there any other pair you want me to analyze? Let me know in the comment section. If you have any question, please drop it in the comment section. If you have any question, drop it in the comment section. Mr. Raphael, Mr. Ibuka, Mr. Wisdom, Mr. Debayo, do you have any question? Is there any other instrument you want me to analyze? Let me know in the comment section. We have just 4 minutes left for this session. We've got just 4 minutes left for this session to end. So if you have any question or any pair you want me to analyze, let me know in the comment section. I just want to GJ. Okay, Ebuka GJ. You want to specialize on, I just want to specialize on which pair, Mr. Raphael, which pair do you want to specialize on? Which pair do you want to specialize on, Mr. Raphael? I've told you the yen is bullish. Okay, I've told you the yen is bullish. So you should look for sales on. I already sold GJ and I'm in massive profit. I took a sell, I think, at this point on GJ. So I'm in profit of close to 40 pips now on GJ. Sold it at this point. If you didn't enter sell from this point, then you should wait. I dropped the signal on the group earlier, right? Really, I took the trade. I told you guys I just executed a trade on GJ. I'm selling GJ, and I also told you where I set my stop loss, the price I use as my stop loss. Okay, so if you didn't execute it at the time I dropped it on the fraternity group, then you should wait for price to retrace back to this fair value gap. Okay, if you didn't execute the trade at the time I dropped it, you should wait for price to pull back to this zone before you sell. Okay, wait for price to pull back to this zone before you sell. If you're also interested in signal service, my signal service goes for 20,000 naira monthly. 20,000 naira monthly. My signal service goes for 20,000 naira monthly. If you're interested in following signals, but you have been following me for the past 3-6 months, I don't think you need to pay for signal service. I don't think you need to pay for signal service. You should know how to analyze the market. If you have been following me, especially those of you who have attended my class, you shouldn't pay for signals. You shouldn't pay for signals. Okay, you shouldn't pay for signals. I believe signals should be for inexperienced traders. Okay, but if you are still interested, it costs 20,000 naira. But for those of you who are my students, I'll give you a discount of 50% discount. So you pay just 10,000 naira. I'm not supposed to charge you people to pay, but you have to pay so that I think that will make you get serious and learn how to do it the right way. You should be able to analyze the market. I don't expect any of my students to be asking for signal. I offer signal service to those who are not that experienced in trading. Those are the people I designed the signal service for, not for those that have attended my classes. You've been with me for the past 6 months, 1 year, and you don't know how to analyze the market. I don't know what to say to you. Okay. Mr. Debayo, sir, can we use fair value gap like support? Yes, yes, yes. Fair value gap can also be seen as support and resistance. It's the same thing. Everywhere you identify a fair value gap, there's a high probability that there's a support or resistance. Okay, so I see it as the same. I see it as the same. Because at times when candle close above it, you said it's confirmed by and otherwise. Yes, yes. So see it as resistance and support. Yes. This is a resistance. You can see we had a support here, which became a resistance. So most times when you identify fair value gaps, there's a support or there's a resistance there. You can see that. So we had this here also, this fair value gap here. If you go left, you see that you had support, resistance turn support. You can see that. So most times the areas where you identify fair value gaps, there is always, look at what we have here. You can see we had this fair value gap here. Go left. What do you have by the left? And you can see, what do you have? You have this resistance and you have this resistance which became a support. You can see it. You can see it. Most times when you identify the gap, there is a support or resistance. So see it as support and resistance. I hope I answered your question, Mr. Okay. I hope I answered your question. So, for example, you can see we have this fair value gap here. This fair value gap here. We have this. If you look at this place, you see you have a resistance which became a support. So I see it's the same thing. Resistance and support, fair value gaps is the same thing. It's the same thing. Any question? Any question? Any question? Any question? If you are taking a sell on GJ from the current market price, please ensure that you reduce your lot size because the risk you'll be taking from that point is very high. So please reduce your risk. Your stop loss will be at this point. If you are market price, and profit could be okay. Your take profit, your first target should be this level. This should be your first stop loss 199.33, 199.83. That's about 50. So your first target should be you are risking 50 to make 70 pips. Okay, so that's it. If you want to take the trade, you can go in, but you have to reduce your lot size because the risk has increased on this trade. So you have to reduce your lot size. I'm communicating. I hope I'm communicating. Okay. So I want to appreciate every one of you for your participation, Mr. Adebayo, Wisdom, Ebuka, Raphael. Okay, I appreciate you all for your participation. And our next class tomorrow is Thursday. Okay, we'll be meeting tomorrow by 10 a.m. And for those of you in the fraternity group, we'll be meeting tonight, maybe tonight by 9:30 p.m. Those of you in the fraternity group, we'll meet tonight by 9:30 p.m. Okay, so I'll see you in the class later. Do have a wonderful day.